The Philadelphia Eagles have done it again, as with round 1 of the 2025 NFL Draft officially in the books, the Birds are coming away as massive winners, with Howie Roseman pulling off highway robbery and somehow landing the best linebacker and one of the best overall players in the entire draft in Jihaad Campbell. And some people are already calling this the steal of the draft. So in this video, I'm going to break down why this move is so amazing, as well as how Jihaad Campbell might be used in the Eagles defense just based on some comments from Howie Roseman, and so much more, and we're going to get started right now. The NFL draft is always an extremely exciting time for Philadelphia Eagles fans. I mean, just think about what Howie Roseman and the Birds have been able to do year in and year out during draft weekend for years now. Like, every single time we come out of the draft and we're looking at the winners and losers, Philadelphia always seems to come out as one of the biggest winners. I mean, just rewind 1 year ago to the 2024 NFL Draft, where after a historic late season collapse and first round exit, the Eagles held the 22nd overall pick in the first round, and the position that was on all Eagles fans' minds was cornerback, given that that was one of their biggest weaknesses the season prior. And luckily for them, all it took was a little patience for them to land the perfect guy. As due to a stretch of offensive players getting taken early, Toledo's Quinyon Mitchell, who was considered to be the best corner in the draft and one of the top overall prospects, somehow fell all the way to 22, where the Birds snagged him. And now, of course, he's already a bona fide star for Philly's defense. But as we know, Howie Roseman wasn't done just yet, as on the next night of the NFL Draft, he pulled off a massive trade with the Commanders to move up 10 spots and select another corner in Cooper DeJean, who was also considered to be one of the top corners in the draft. And little did they know at that time that not even a year later, DeJean would not only be a star, but he'd also have one of the greatest plays in franchise history, being a pick six of Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And on top of that, the Eagles also selected Jalen Hunt in the third round, who already looks like a budding star at edge rusher, and a few other promising players. But that's not all. I mean, just go back a year prior, where the Eagles pulled off highway robbery once again. As this time, thanks to a blockbuster draft trade with the Saints the year prior, the Birds had the 10th overall pick fresh off a Super Bowl appearance, which is already insane in and of itself, but what's even more insane is that arguably the best player in the entire draft fell to the 9th pick, where the Eagles were able to trade up and go get him. And of course, I'm talking about Jalen Carter, who is possibly now the best player on the Birds' Super Bowl champion defense. And of course, that's not all, as the Eagles also had the 30th pick, which they used on fellow Georgia Bulldog Nolan Smith, who somehow had fell to the end of the first round. And of course, now he's the top edge rusher on the team. Plus, they got a few other exciting players as well that look poised to step up into bigger roles this coming season. Then rewind to a year earlier, where the Eagles not only were able to trade up a couple spots in the first round to get defensive tackle Jordan Davis, who has become a pretty darn good player in his role, but they were also, of course, able to swing a blockbuster trade with the Tennessee Titans, sending the 18th overall pick in exchange for A.J. Brown, who of course has become a staple of the Eagles team and is possibly already their best receiver in franchise history. Oh, and if that wasn't enough, they also drafted center Cam Jurgens in the second round, who now, just a few years later, has proven himself to be the perfect replacement for Jason Kelce and has earned himself a huge contract extension. Plus, they also snagged linebacker Nakobe Dean in the third round, who became a very good player for them this past season, and tight end Grant Calcaterra in the sixth round, who filled an important role last season. Then, continuing on, in 2021, the Eagles were in desperate need of a receiver, and they managed to get the perfect guy, screwing over the Giants in the trade up with the Cowboys to get to number 10 overall, where they drafted none other than Devontae Smith, who now, of course, is a star and the franchise's all-time postseason receiving leader. Plus, they were also able to land now star left guard Landon Dickerson in the second round, and also Super Bowl 59 hero defensive tackle Milton Williams in the third round. And even the year before that in 2020, in a draft class that largely ended up being awful, Howie Roseman and the Eagles made the best pick of all, as 5 years ago from day one of the draft this year, they shocked the world and took quarterback Jalen Hurts in the second round, despite already having a perceived franchise QB in Carson Wentz. And safe to say, not too many people were very happy about it.
What? I can't understand this.
It's honestly crazy just looking back on the overwhelming negative reactions to that pick 5 years ago, knowing what we know now, because obviously now Hurts is one of the faces of the league, the Birds franchise quarterback, possibly the best one Philadelphia has ever had, and of course he's a Super Bowl MVP and Super Bowl champion, along with the rest of these Eagles draft picks. So safe to say, Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles have done a phenomenal job building through the draft these past several years, And naturally, fresh off a Super Bowl championship and with the window open for a potential dynasty, dare I say, the hype was as loud as ever going into the draft this year. It honestly wasn't the easiest thing in the world watching so many guys that I liked as potential picks for the Eagles just fly off the board in round one, but at the end of the day, this is Howie Roseman we're talking about, so there was never any reason to be worried as the Eagles GM pulled off highway robbery once again as he traded up from pick 32 to 31 with the Kansas City Chiefs, giving up just a 5th round pick in the process, and from there, the Birds selected Alabama linebacker Jihaad Campbell. And man, at this point, I'm sure there's nothing else for the NFL to say besides,
You can't keep getting away with it!
yeah, I mean, what else can I say besides the Eagles have done it once again, as this selection of Jihaad Campbell at the end of the first round is looking like it could go down as an absolute steal. I mean, where do I even start? There's just so many things that make Campbell a super exciting prospect, starting with the fact that he is a super versatile player, given that he started out at Alabama as an edge rusher before becoming primarily an off-ball linebacker, but he really still has the skill set to play in a variety of spots and do a number of different things on defense, whether that's playing either off-ball linebacker spot, playing coverage, blitzing, or rushing off the edge. And judging by Howie Roseman's comments immediately after round one of the draft, it certainly seems like the Birds are planning to take advantage of Campbell's versatility.
This is a guy who was recruited from IMG at Alabama as an edge rusher, hand and dirt edge rusher. They had some injuries at Alabama. They played him off the ball. You see his explosiveness and his speed. And really, you know what, it's kind of interesting, and we talked about this a lot. You see it. You see Penn State give them a lot of credit for what they've done. They've had guys off the ball move to edge rushers. Obviously, their last 2 guys who've been drafted really high, they started off the ball and they moved to edge rushers. Vic does a tremendous job with getting guys who have pass rush ability to be versatile players like that. And I think what's really fun is that those guys who have that versatility, who can go out on the edge and get pressure as a rusher, and he's got speed, he's got power as an edge rusher, he was trained as an edge rusher, and then he's got the versatility to play off the ball and blitz from depth and play in space, in pass coverage, as an off-ball linebacker. And so the things that you can do and keep all these players on the field. So for us, it's just, we always want to improve the front seven, and we view him as a front seven player who's got incredible versatility and a skill set to do both those things. And the appeal is that he's got this rush skill set, and he's 21 years old. He turned 21 on February 24th. So he's got upside to grow and get bigger, and his frame is such that he can put on more weight and more strength. And so, as you can tell, excited about the player.
Yeah, so again, Howie said it there. Campbell is a versatile weapon who they believe can be moved all around the defense and can be used in a number of different ways. And for that reason, this move clearly has Vic Fangio's name written all over it. I mean, this is the kind of guy that he loves in his front seven, and we just saw last year what he was able to do for a guy like Zack Baun, who has a similar skill set. So now he gets a new toy in Campbell, and there's a lot of different ways that he can be utilized. So I just cannot wait to see what Vic Fangio is able to do with Jihaad Campbell, especially since the guy clearly has a lot of ability and potential. Because on top of having that versatility, Campbell's also super athletic, having a near perfect RAS score of 9.88, while also completely showing out at the NFL Combine just a couple months ago. Plus, he's got all the physical tools, standing at 6'3", 245 pounds. He's fast, he's explosive, he's physical, he plays with a lot of toughness and tenacity, and he was also super productive in college. This past year specifically, putting up 117 tackles, which led Alabama's defense, and was also the most tackles they've had from any player since DeMeco Ryans back in 2003. So that is pretty darn impressive, not to mention the fact that he also came away with 11.5 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and an interception, while also making first-team All-SEC. And all this had a lot of draft experts and analysts projecting Campbell as a top 10 to 15 talent on their big board. Jeremy Fowler said that an NFC exec called Campbell a top 10 talent in the draft easily. And heck, Howie Roseman himself said that they had him top 10 on their draft board too. So the fact that Campbell somehow fell all the way to 31 and the Eagles were able to get him is just absolutely insane. And according to Mina Kimes, he might just end up being the steal of the draft.
Ooh, I get to talk about my draft crush. Jihaad Campbell. Oh my God. I think he has everything it takes tools-wise to be one of them elite linebackers in the NFL. The athleticism is the first thing I'll point out. True sideline to sideline range. The closing speed, pops. He's got tremendous wingspan, and it shows up in zone coverage. He's always getting in passing lanes, interfering with the ball. And then he's a good pass rusher, too. Explosive first step. I believe he started as a pass rusher. Look, he might fall because he had the surgery and there's injuries and whatnot. A few years down the road, if he falls, we're going to look back on him and say, how on earth did he fall?
The craziest part about this whole thing might just be that Jihaad Campbell is clearly the Eagles guy. Like, despite the fact that they didn't bring him in on a top 30 visit, which that's very rare for an Eagles first round pick these days, but it seems like they wanted to get Campbell all along, as once he started to fall a little bit, Howie Roseman was reportedly working the phones trying to make a move up even earlier to go up and get him, with Ian Rappaport reporting that Howie nearly made a deal with the Chargers to move up to 22 overall to select Campbell, but it fell through at the last second. So the fact that the Eagles were just able to wait around and pretty much have Campbell fall into their laps at 31, trading up just that one spot to get him, is just absolutely insane. I'm sure they were fired up, and Jihaad Campbell himself was pretty fired up too. Fun fact for you, Jihaad Campbell grew up just 30 minutes outside of Philadelphia and is a lifelong Eagles fan, so safe to say he was pretty excited to get drafted by his hometown team, who he called the best team in the nation, while also declaring they're coming for a repeat next year.
Philly, y'all know what's up. We got to win another freaking Super Bowl next year, man. It's on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that just gets me super fired up. And if that's not enough, just listen to what Campbell said about what he wants to bring to this Eagles defense.
I think just being, like a dominant force for the defense. So really just put me wherever and just, finding different schemes for me to play and, making an impact. Man, I'm just ready to be the best version of myself each and every day and compete, and, be that dominant force at whatever the coach wants to put me at, honestly.
Yeah, so it certainly sounds like Jihaad Campbell is ready to be an Eagle. He's ready to embrace whatever role the Birds give him on defense, and he's ready to make an immediate impact for the Super Bowl champions defense. And heck, depending on how the Birds use him, he may come in here and start right away. Because obviously the injury to Nakobe Dean during the playoffs last year is more than likely going to keep him out to start next season, so Campbell now looks like the immediate favorite to fill that role, and he could also be the Birds' long-term plan at linebacker, just with Howie Roseman saying that he envisions him playing here for a long time. And of course, with Nakobe Dean coming up on the last year of his contract, well, Zack Baun's 28 years old. Or heck, maybe Campbell's part of the Birds' long-term plans at edge rusher. I mean, the fact that Campbell's one pre-draft meeting with the Eagles was with edge rusher and outside linebacker coach Jeremiah Washburn is pretty telling. Or maybe he just checks his own box and is just a long-term versatile piece that does a bit of everything. Like, we don't know exactly what Campbell's role on defense is going to look like, but that's one of the things that makes this so exciting, isn't it? Like, just the fact that he has the ability to do so many things makes him such a unique player, and there's no question in my mind that he's going to be a fantastic piece for the Birds defense, and NFL analyst Brian Baldinger seems to agree with that.
The best linebacker in this draft is Jihaad Campbell. It's not even close. Like, you watch him just avoid the guards, all right, get through the soup. Like, get through the coffee grinds and the eggshells. He's going to find the ball carrier, no matter where he lines up, okay? Like, he's got an elite skill set. And you watch him right here. Watch the forced fumble here on the blitz. Like, this is what he can do. Like, he can fire his... Like, this is LSU now on a Saturday night. Ball's out. Game-changing plays. We saw Zack Baun do that a bunch last year. Now, there's an old saying, right? Slow till you know. So you watch him. Like, this is what good inside linebackers do. They trust their speed, which is plenty. 4.52 at 243 pounds. All right, now watch him. Watch him stay behind the play. Stay behind the play, right? You're slow until you know. And then when you know, then you go blow it up. All right, then you get on the action. Then you go hunt. But you don't have to rush. You don't have to overrun it. Too many of these backs can cut back against you. Now, he's a run and chase player. Like, you just watch him. The perimeter game is so popular in the NFL. Washington does it a much. Like, he's going to chase it down. He's going to hunt it up. All right, Jihaad Campbell. Like, you watch this guy right here come off right here in the A-gap, mugging the A-gap. Excellent hands, great twitch, right? He's going to stone the running back right here. All right, here you go. You want to put the running back on him? Good. All right, here he goes. Bam, stones him. All right, play over, game over. This guy's got so much good tape. He's the best linebacker in his draft. I don't care. You call him out against anybody. He's so natural just to run and chase. Like, it's just easy. Oh, yeah, sideline to sideline. This is going to be fun, putting this Vic Fangio defense together. All right, now, pass coverage, all right, feet and hands. Here we go. All right, now, here he comes. You got the motion, short motion. Here he comes. You got to be able to cover, right? Now, man, you defend the goal line, 10 toes on the goal line. You don't let them score. You never let them score. All right? That's the idea. That's what defense is about. Don't let them score. Like the Chiefs didn't cross the 50-yard line the first 9 times they had the ball in the Super Bowl. Defense just got better.
Now, I should point out that the one question mark with Campbell is his health, as he just had shoulder surgery in March, so he may miss a bit of time in the offseason, but recent reports suggest that he's going to be good to go for training camp, and Howie Roseman and the Eagles seem very confident in their medical evaluations of him and think he's a guy that's going to stay healthy long term. So overall, again, I just think this is a fantastic pick. It's highway robbery. Like, the Eagles have done it once again, and the NFL should be terrified. Getting Jihaad Campbell at the end of the first round, like, man, what a steal, what a job the Eagles have done in the draft once again. But of course, getting Campbell is only the beginning of the draft for the Birds, because obviously tonight is rounds 2 and 3, and then tomorrow is rounds 4 through 7. So there's a bunch more stuff to come, and you guys know that I'm going to be covering it all here on this channel as it relates to the Philadelphia Eagles. So if you don't want to miss any of that, then make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. That way you're notified instantly when I upload a video or go live. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss any of it. So again, subscribe, turn on notifications, and also drop a like to show some support, because it really does help me out a ton if you did enjoy this video, so you can get to 500 likes today. And also leave a comment down below. What are your first impressions of Jihaad Campbell? Do you like the pick? Again, just give me your thoughts down in the comments. And also, if you watch another Eagles video, you can check this one out right here. And now, with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.